Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, let's talk a little bit more about the Dodge Demon. And not the Demon per se, but what could be coming down the pike after this car. Because remember when the first teaser shots came out, especially that shot of the rear end of the machine, and you notice this thing had big bulging rear quarter panels on the machine, along with those massive tires, and the rumor mills were flying everywhere of the thing having 1,000 horsepower and all-wheel drive and the like. Was really hoping to see a road course weapon rather than a drag race star. But now that we've got the Demon with us, there's something that could be coming down the pike. And for the sheer fact that FCA doesn't have much money, which does sound a little bit hilarious to say, but when you really think about it, you look at Sergio Marchionne trying to find a partner for FCA, the sheer fact that the Challenger shouldn't even exist right now, as this old E-Class Mercedes platform that the Challenger's running on was long supposed to have been replaced several years ago, in early years of the old Motor Cars program, that we were supposed to get a vehicle called the Barracuda that was supposed to run on an Alpha or maybe even another platform underneath the FCA umbrella. But we're still kind of stuck with the Challenger, and the sheer fact that FCA doesn't have much money is probably the only reason that the Demon actually exists, because otherwise they would have moved on to something different, even though the Demon may have existed underneath another platform. But here's the deal. FCA doesn't have much money, so tooling up these fenders and quarter panels for just this machine to build 3,300 units is highly unlikely. So you may get my wish, as long as I've talked about hoping to get a track day star, a road course track day star, to take on the likes of maybe the ZL1 or the ZL1 1LE, maybe even the GT350 or the GT350R. Really wanted to see Dodge and FCA take on the likes of Ford and General Motors and Chevrolet. We may actually just get our wish, because Road and Track have got some pictures of what looks like a Demon actually doing some field testing in Michigan, but it looks a lot different. Gone is the great big scooped Demon hood in favor of the Challenger Hellcat hood that we've seen on many other cars. But there's also some massive brake calipers on this machine. Look like possibly 6-piston calipers up front. That's something that isn't really on the old Demon here. So could there be a road course weapon with massive amounts of suspension, with maybe some adjustability, big wheels and tires, big brake package, and maybe later on some aero stuff that could come out to take on the likes of Ford and Chevrolet? This could be exciting times, but again, this is all still just rumor mill stuff, so we'll definitely keep you in tune if we hear any more. Now that I've pretty much wasted half the show talking about my wish list for the OFCA folks, let's get on with some more somewhat concrete news, even though this next story still got a lot of questions in my mind. It's the folks over at McLaren. McLaren is looking for what they're calling for the greatest job ever. They want one of you, possibly, to come work in Woking on their simulator. Yes, the greatest video game system on the planet is one of these Formula One simulators that a lot of the Grand Prix drivers to use to familiar themselves with the course, along with other engineering folks who work a lot of settings virtually on their automobiles in the simulators. What McLaren's going to do is they've hooked up with the folks over at Logitech, Sparco, and GiveMeSport.com. They're actually going to do a little YouTube channel on this deal where they're going to hand select 6 different folks and then have 4 open qualifiers. Those 10 folks actually get shipped off to Woking at the McLaren Road Car Formula One car facility and go through a battery of tests, and the winner take all of getting to work on their simulator program. Now the trick is we really haven't heard just what exactly they've got up their sleeve as far as the game is concerned. Are they going to use a platform game, maybe like Gran Turismo or Forza, something else from Xbox, something else from PlayStation? Or is it going to be a computer game or a mobile device game? They really haven't come out and said. They kind of talking like they're going to monitor a bunch of these and you may get your name called out or something. So we'll have to wait and see on this front. But again, to get to work on that simulator package, even to get a couple of minutes of seat time in that simulator, will be well worth that particular experience. Next up on the list, one of the pieces of the puzzle for the 101st running of the Indianapolis 500, the greatest spectacle in racing, has just been announced. The brand new pace car for the 2017 running in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is the brand new 2017 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. The vehicle comes with a 6.2-liter normally aspirated V8 making 460 horsepower and 465 pounds-feet of torque, shifted through either automatic or manual transmission. 0 to 60 comes in at 3.5 seconds with a top speed of 195 miles an hour. Now that we know the vehicle that's going to be pacing the 101st running of the Great American Race in Indianapolis, who's going to be piloting the car? That's the next question coming soon. We'll get to find out who the pace car driver will be running in this particular race. So we'll keep you in tune, definitely, if we hear any more when that comes out. Last up on the list, Ferrari fans rejoice, especially if you're the high-end Ferrari fan. And really, who isn't the high-end Ferrari fan? Maybe under pressure, the folks over Ferrari, for the sheer fact that we've seen vehicles like Mercedes and AMG working on a Formula One derived hypercar, even the folks over Red Bull Racing and Aston Martin working on a Formula One derived hypercar. Ferrari's been doing this for years. You think about the F40, the F50, the F60, the F70, and the current F80. All of these machines have all been showcasing Ferrari's latest and greatest Formula One technologies. And now we had a little sit down with the folks over at Autocar. They have confirmed within 3 to 5 years we are going to have a successor to the LaFerrari. So if you really love the LaFerrari, cannot wait to see what Ferrari may have up their sleeve on this new machine. Apparently, we're going to get some rumors maybe coming out in the next couple of years. Be interesting to see. This vehicle will probably debut at Geneva, possibly 2020 or 2019. We'll have to wait and see on those fronts, but definitely keep you in tune when we hear more about this machine. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.